Last week, the members of Parliament did not appreciate the government's response on the concerns regarding some schools, which have made it a habit to charge prohibited school fees.
These directives, we are aware, and they have been issued since 2020, as she has alluded here. The report we wanted was to tell us that the Honorable so-and-so who owns this school, charging very exorbitant school fees, has been sanctioned.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, asked the Committee on Education and Sports to revisit the concerns and report back on Tuesday this week.
This report, which needed...
The Committee on Education and Sports started with engaging with some of the petitioners against the vice, including Tororo District Woman Member of Parliament, Sarah Opendi. The session was closed from the media. The MPs want government to withdraw funding for the grant-aided schools, since some of them have continuously abused the policies relating to school fees.
Although private schools are bound by the privatization policy, we still think that education is a service. It shouldn't be commercialized, and there should be a cap on how much parents, even in private schools, should pay.
Then we have a saying of private school vis-a-vis government schools. I believe whether it is government or private, the charging of schools must be controlled by government, so that these private schools that are charging $1 million, I saw the other day there's a school charging 1 million shillings for swimming.
Tororo District Woman Member of Parliament, Sarah Opendi, wants the funds to be channeled to the seed schools under the Uganda Intergovernmental Fiscal Transfer Program. Government, through the Seed Schools program, constructs schools in the constituencies without government-aided schools.
Leave the private schools and those others that do not want to reduce fees. Stop them from accessing government funds. And in that way, we shall be actually providing education services to the majority. But also, we need to amend the law. There are loopholes in the current Education Act. And of course, once that also is looked at, then we shall be able to at least fairly solve the problem.
Recently, the First Lady, also Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, said the Cabinet pronounced that all schools that receive public funds must implement free and compulsory universal education program. Minister Janet said that the Ministry of Education and Sports will liaise with the current 105 public secondary schools and 109 public primary schools that are beneficiaries of public funds but have not been implementing USE and UPE.
And Cabinet also went ahead to prescribe a list of 12 items which are categorized as not allowed to be charged as part of school fees in pre-primary, primary, and secondary schools. And these should be formally communicated to all schools by the Ministry of Education and Sports in the very near future. So, government shall start implementing free and compulsory UPE and USE in a phased manner, starting with UPE in financial year 2024-2025, and for this, an additional resource of 309.16 billion is required on top of the 1.3 trillion that government already spends on UPE in financial year 22-23.
The Parliamentary Committee on Education and Sports is expected to present its findings on Tuesday this week. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gwitabinji, UBC News.